Hello everyone, I am Tessellating Hexagons, back with some more A Hat in Time, and some more of Chapter 3, Subcon Forest, which in my defense was originally going to be Chapter 2. Now, because of the contract that we signed in the last episode, we could go straight into Act 5 now, but actually, it's in our interests to go to the Subcon well as soon as we can. The term of the day is Allegro. Oh wow, spoilers loading screen. It's almost like we get an important item in this chapter or something. Got item! That was unnecessarily obnoxious, and I will completely own that. Anyway, so if nothing else, as I said before, this was originally Chapter 2, and Chapter 2 was originally Chapter 3, and it had a different title, and basically a lot of stuff was changed over time, and time has changed over time. And, so that semi-justifies me doing this chapter now. Now, again, it's a bit soon, but once we've done this... Actually, that's a good point. The Merc here, the M-U-R-K, you can stand at it for a while. It does slow you down, and, wow. That's one thing that I don't like about these bonfires. It's so easy to just miss. It bounced off one of the fire spirits. There we go. There we go. If you stand at it for too long, then you get dragged into the netherworld, which just means that you just lose a single fuck of health and respawn at the last safe ground that you touched, or something like that. It's really not that threatening. You can walk at it, it's fine. Just mind the hands, you know? Just don't you touch me. Now, let's get rid of another firewall. Are they color-coded? You would have thought, because that's blue, but I didn't... I don't know. Anyway, there's a noose. It's in your interests, as I said, to finish this act first, and then basically once you've done that, the entire forest more or less opens up for you to explore at your will. And again, that's, I could make reference to recent goings-on in the community, except by the time this video goes up, it's not going to be anywhere near recent. Now, we have bells. When they ding, they make platforms appear that exist on other planes of existence. But here's the thing with that. There's a funny thing with that, this bell. The Dweller Mask has exactly the same effect, but localized to Hatkid. And I don't think the game expects you to have been able to construct the Dweller Mask just yet. So, for the moment, you can rely on these bells to make these various platforms appear. But really, you can use the Dweller Mask as well. It's temporary, but, you know, it has the same effect. I think by now, you're supposed to, well, it expects you to have been to Chapter 2, and presumably have created the Ice Hat as well. And once you have the Ice Hat, obviously you'll be down by 8 pieces of yarn, so... Just... You will want the Ice Hat for a certain point in Chapter 2. Ooh, I forgot that this was here. It's another relic! This is the one that I want to have in the front room. But you didn't hear that from me. There we go. Homing attack OP, please do not nerf. Right, so here we are, the Subcon well. There are ponds. I'm going to take these ponds. And whenever I say ponds, I'm reminded of... Is it Lele Ponds or Lily Ponds? I know there's someone who has ponds in their name who isn't as famous as they used to be. Or maybe, I don't know, I just don't move in the same circles as I used to. But hey, look, it's like that one room in Ocarina of Time in the ice cavern that has that, like, fancy-looking pedestal made of red ice. That's what this room reminds me of. Anyway, we have ice, and babies. And there are several missions that I've come back to replay on my own personal time in my personal save file. I only played this once for the story, and then once again because there's an achievement here for escaping this level without... Well, you'll see in a moment. But for now, inside the nut, the man's nut. Yeah, it's a badge. I don't know why this is a badge. I wouldn't have made it a badge personally, but I appreciate the design choice, but I'm actually going to keep the magnet badge on. But really, I would have made it like... There's a thing here that says weapon, and this never changes throughout the whole game. Why not just have it be an extension to that rather than a badge? Because this means it has to take up a badge slot, and the hookshot is just useful for the entirety of the game. Like, you basically... You'd never really want to dequip it unless you know exactly what mission you're doing and that it doesn't pre-require it, and... Like, I personally just leave it constantly equipped because why wouldn't you? And look at that range. Look at that range! Anyway. Just loop back at yourself and get some more yarn. Can we make the Ice Hat yet? What are our yarns looking like? We're 5, just need 3 more. Okay. Just in case you couldn't clearly see that on the screen. But yes, the hookshot in this game works so well as well. And, I mean, are we allowed to call it a hookshot? Because, you know, Legend of Zelda. But, it's a very useful item that's very easy to use. We have 300 ponds. Now there's this. And I'm not sure why that makes water fall from above. You know, rain falls from above. But, well, I think that immediately disqualifies me for the achievement. But there's an achievement here for escaping the subcon well without falling into the water. And it's not like that one part in Conker's Bad Fur Day. There's no real punishment for falling in the water other than you don't get the achievement, but I don't know, it's not that difficult, but also it's kind of easy to mess up. But as said, there's not really any penalty, so just, you know, take your time, do your own thing. It's the right amount of, it's only pressure if you want it, and I appreciate that. Thought maybe there'd be like a combo of hookshot targets there. And oh, look, it's a Spoda. A Spoda. A Spoda. With extra S's. Another S every time I say it. And there's also that there, which it would be in our interests to go and grab since we're here. Good. I think that's what caused me to miss out on the achievement last time I was here as well, just trying to get all of the things. Well, collectibles for this playthrough matter to me more than achievements that I can go back and get on my own time whenever, so there we go. Rift token. It's just a Rift token, but hey, it's a Rift token, you know? I don't actually know if it's possible to get every single... Like, I don't actually know how many Rift tokens there are in the game, not counting mods, so I don't know if it is even possible to get everything from the Rift token slot machine. Off the top of my head, I don't actually know if you get a second chance at the slot machine if you replay a time rift that you've already completed. We'll just get those ponds, because the moment you break that ice, this happens. I'm not sure if you auto-collect the ponds in this cutscene. I feel like you wouldn't. So anyway, we have beaten the well. And then, goosh, we've flooded the moist section. And hey, we've finished our first contract, but we've signed other contracts, so we're not eligible to re-receive our soul just yet. I love how the ponds look like they have like Chaos Emeralds on the inside or something, but because of course, any gem that is brilliant cut has to be a Chaos Emerald. That said, I have seen a picture on Twitter, I think, of someone who's actually got like an ice cube tray thing that molds ice into the shape of brilliant cut gems. Like, I want this! I want this quite a bit! So much so that I've not bothered to actually look them up, so maybe never mind. Wow, you're really plugging Chapter 2 now that you've realised I'm making progress in Chapter 3. Well, I'm sorry, game, but it just tain't happening. Because tain't. Because tain't. Anyway. Oh, there's a time rift already. I was not expecting this to be so soon. So that's one thing about every chapter that isn't Chapter 1. You have to earn your final boss. Well, chapter boss. And as you can see, we haven't actually opened any other acts, so lucky for us, we signed that contract that opened Act 5, so we're to go there at some point. But for now, we'll head to Act 5. Term of the day is choir. That's such a cute picture, just all of it. Every last bit of it is cute. And also, this is a really open-ended mission, so this is a really good chapter to go and just explore the forest in. So if you want to do that, now is a very good time, and so I shall use that as a... Archideld, have you got anything I want?
Please, disregard my twitchy behavior. My body has been to places that have left a permanent mark.
Like whence? Now, this is just a very good badge. I was going to talk about the scooter badge, but I'm going to get the fast hatter badge. Because, you know, hatter's gonna hat. Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba. But yes, that's very useful for later in the game. For now, it's not that big of a deal, and like we don't really have a good reason to use it. So for the moment, it only really like it's good if you want to throw multiple brewing hat bombs, which you will never need to do, and for using the Dweller Mask in rapid succession. But other than that, we don't really have any need for it. So let's sort of we could do the mission that's been allocated to us, but no, let's just meander around the forest. You know, maybe chain together some homing attacks. If you get too close to the spiders, they will spin at you and do some damage, like there's some sort of Skulltulas from Legend of Zelda. Let's get some more ice children. And the ice hat is another one that the the fast hatter badge is completely useless with. Like, you can still use it, but it's just, you wouldn't really need to when playing this game, or at least I never need to, so clearly no one will ever need to. But there is a hat later in the game that having the fast hatter badge completely breaks. Now, this is what I was looking for before. A tentacle. A ring of tentacles. A fairy ring of tentacles. Yo there, could you tell I was ignoring you earlier? Hello, friend.
Oh, wait, it's you. I was kind of expecting a new victim to step in my traps. I've already taken your soul and everything. Have you even completed your contractual obligations yet? Don't take it personal, kid, but stay clear of my traps. There's only so many times my voice can handle yelling like that. You're taking the experience away from other people. But since you did step in my trap, I might as well extend our business endeavors. Fool! Ooh, you stepped into my voice, and now you must pay the price. Pick your poison. Which burden do you want to carry for the rest of your life?
And again, dodgy camera. Once again, we have two contracts to choose from. I still don't want to... This was one of the... Like, that was the third last timepiece I got in the game. The second last was the boss of this chapter, because you need to beat that to access the boss, and the last was the final boss of the game. I would much rather face the Toilet of Doom, which is actually, of the two, the harder of the two missions, in my opinion. It's not that difficult, though.
Not bad choice. This one should be a breeze. You're leaving all the difficult contracts for the newbies now, which is really rude when you think about it. Whatever, I'm off. Smell you later.
And so that's how progression in this chapter works. You have to find the other contracts and get them like that. Do we have enough for the next hat yet? No, I didn't think so. I thought we were one shy. But as you can see, you know, by these radiating coronas of colourful light, there is so much shit in the trees that you need to go out of your way to look for. And it's very much worth your time to do so. Also, there's a... Oh, this didn't throw me as high as I imagined. There's a burning building there. There's a bell here. Ringus Dingus. Ringus Dingus, that's all. And so, for exploring the forest, really, the two main requirements are have the hookshot and have the Dweller badge, because it just... the Dweller hat, rather. It's just... it makes things easier in the long run. Now, just...
1, 2, presto!
This is also part of the reason why I wanted to do this chapter first. It's useful to have the ice hat in chapter 2, and I wanted to make sure I had it. But also, this is just... No, I'm having a good time here. Also, remember to bear in mind, you can... Also...
You look new around here.
That's just grim. But anyway, if you hang on to those nooses for too long, then they will keep talking to you. I don't like the first mission of chapter 2. There, I said it. But also, I'm just giving you the authentic experience of my first experience of when I played through this game. And I know I'm getting very sidetracked because I need to go and find the, oh look, there's another contract, never mind. Talking about getting sidetracked and then getting sidetracked from being sidetracked. Sidetracking my sidetracking.
Oh, wait, it's you.
And then he just sort of gives you the same speech, so I'll save you the hassle. Trick question, there is only one, and it's one I don't want to do. Well, at least that means that we now can access every act in this chapter apart from the remaining time rift brackets and the boss of the chapter, but hey, all in good time. And now we never have to talk to him again except for the times that we do. Now, where was I just going? I was going up there. It's so easy to... It's so easy to get lost in the forest in general, but it's so easy to get sidetracked by all of the extra shit that's here. Like, you need to... I don't know. I recommend, as I said, doing all your sidetracking on this particular mission, just because it's also a demonstration. Just localized hat times. It allows you to travel to another dimension. Another relic! It's a crayon. It's a printer. I've spent too much time around my university friends, except I haven't. I've only been in once this week, and I'm going int again tomorrow. I'm going to Ghent tomorrow. Too many T's where they don't need to be. But I'm a Brit, I can't complain of there being too many T. Anyway, okay, keep bonking your head, see where it gets you. But it is rather fun to explore the forest, I will admit. Now, okay, I could keep going this way, but there's a chest there, and clearly you can distract any man with a chest, except that was a boob joke, and you know my sexuality is an infinitely swirling mystery. Anyway, where am I going? Because I want to go to the Time Rift, and I know it's near the start somewhere, but I'm not 100% sure where. I've never seen that statue before. There is one somewhere that starts to fight you if you get too close, so just, you know, have a care. Just one care, but have it.
Is that a yarn up there?
Where? I've already collected it, you fool. How dare you? How dare you mislead me with false promises of hope? False promises of Oprah. Now, I want to say it's around here somewhere. I want to find the bucket. What am I trying to call it? The rift bucket. It has its own name, but still, it's a rift bucket. You can't convince me otherwise. There's another noose to elevate you to high levels. Here we go, it's the rift bucket. Because clearly we don't have a mission to do here or anything. Hello there, friend. You have nothing to say. Okay. Now, I'm not sure what those creatures are called, because they don't really count as dwellers, because the dwellers are the ones with these masks on. But still, let's see what this rift has to offer. Rift me, baby. Rift me a new one. I mean... what? Ah, of course, we're inside the Pipe. Now, this was one of the last rifts that that was completed on the Let's Play that I watched before. Now, red platforms, they fall if you touch them, so don't touch them. Well, if you land on top of them, rather, you can climb up the side of them. And I would say, self-imposed challenge, don't touch any of the red platforms, but that sort of becomes impossible after a certain point in here, so, you know. I knew I should have gone for a dive jump. Me and my silly self-imposed challenges that I never actually do in the real world. I'm not really a challenge-run person. I'm not known for it. And yet here I am anyway. But for the sake of demonstration, you get on top and it falls. That's the extent of it. I do like the texture of these platforms, because they look kind of like what I call cow blocks from from Super Mario Sunshine, but they're not a straight rip-off because they've got this sort of crystal texture on them, and hey, it's a good thing we have the hookshot badge, otherwise we would be suffering, except I don't think this opens until you have the hookshot badge, so, you know, swingers and round booties. Now, do have a care as well when it comes to the way you land, because that's going to be a bit of a kiss in the pisser at the end of this particular mission, because that's one thing I had trouble with when I did it for myself, because, you know, it wouldn't be an episode of A Hat in Time by Tessellating if I didn't talk about my original personal playthrough. But, you know, actually I didn't actually say anything to merit knowing, so you don't know, but you don't know my life. That platform didn't need to be there. Now, you can double jump off the back of a hookshot thing, so... Anyway, what I would personally recommend here is just put on the hover badge just for a hot second here, because you can just make this jump like this, but these platforms fall very quickly, so if you're still in your stun animation from landing, then I'm gonna put magnet badge back on before I forget, then you will fall if you go into your landing animation where Hat Kid is momentarily stunned. You'll be on the platform for too long and you won't be able to jump by the time it finishes falling. You don't have to let go of the hookshot thing here, by the way. You can just, like, you don't need to let go of your hookshot to collect that timepiece. Worth noting. And really, this should be the end of the episode because it's that time, but nah, you can survive a little bit longer. Well, actually, I've changed my mind. Let's see what we get from the treasure chest and, what else you got? No, I don't want hat flares. Boo. Boo. Okay, I'll take a hat flare then, but I don't want to equip it. Anyway, this flare is rare apparently. News to me. Well, I've been and will continue to be Tessellating Hexagons, and in the next episode we'll actually do the mission I was supposed to do this time. See you then for that.